Hi everyone, yes, I'm Andy from Expedient Print, and today I want to talk to you about using print in the digital world. And we do all live in a digital world, it's really hard to deny. You only have to look around to see that it impacts every part of our personal and our business lives. So it's no wonder then that there's been a mad rush from businesses to get themselves online, and rightly so. But actually, in doing so, many traditional marketing methods have been left behind. And for some companies, they're ignoring some things completely. Now, I'm not here to bash digital and bang the drum for print, because I do believe that print and digital, when used together strategically, are at their most powerful. Plus, with lots of digital people in the room, I'd probably be hounded out of the room anyway. Before I talk to you about print, I would like to point out a couple of challenges that I think digital currently has. First of all, there's a tsunami of information out there with tons being uploaded every single second. And we're being bombarded with information all the time, left, right, and centre. How many of you use your social media feeds like this? Yeah? And if you do see something of interest, the chances are you skim read it and move on. So there are some challenges getting seen online. Secondly, there is a growing mistrust of information online, especially recently with the rise of fake news. So if you are seen and you are read, then are you going to be trusted? Now, there are digital experts that will help you overcome some of these things. But I think that print can work really well with digital strategically to plug some of those leaks. So when it comes to print, and you can make real connections, you can make emotional connections, some of the things that perhaps you can't do online. Now, don't take my word for it. John Lewis say that print is one of their most effective marketing strategies. Amazon are reportedly currently preparing a printed toy catalogue ready for Christmas. Facebook, who've got a credibility and a trust issue right now, they've launched a printed magazine. And Google are one of the biggest users of direct mail, targeting businesses to drive them back online to use Google AdWords. So if the biggest companies in the world recognize the strategic use of print, then why do small and medium-sized businesses, many of them, not? And I think the answer is actually quite simple. I think they don't understand how to think about print in this digital world and how to use it. It's about connecting with the right people at the right time and delivering the right message. That's been used already today, and that's exactly what print is about as well. In your packs, I've put in a roadmap, a client roadmap, which details, I'm going to show it up to you on the screen now, so open your packs later if you want to have a look at it, but it does detail the journey that a typical person would take to becoming a client. It goes through 3 different stages. And it talks about the different times that you can interact and make connections with people, and how during these periods you can use print to make the right impact. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. First stage is finding the clients that you want to attract. And this is about attracting attention. It is about standing out. It is about being heard, cutting through the noise, being seen. So the objective of print here is to stimulate interest. It's to get people to raise their hand and say, yes, I've got an interest in your product or service. Yes, I've got a need for your product or service. A lot of companies, from a print point of view, they make the mistake of just being too bland, too wide, too generic at this stage, trying to throw everything at the wall and hope something sticks, really. You need to have short, sharp messages which are targeted at specific markets, and they need to be problem-solving messages to get people to identify themselves to you. And there are plenty of opportunities at this stage where you can use print. Networking events, exhibitions, attending or exhibiting, door drops, direct mail, introductory packs. Lots of ways you can get print to use it along this journey at this stage. We had a client come to us recently. They wanted to do 1,000 leaflets for a mail drop. They'd done it before and had no results at all. So we dug a little bit deeper. It turned out that their target market were transport managers for companies with fleets of vans. And they thought that if these transport managers looked at that leaflet, they would definitely ring. So the objective of the print became just to pique their attention, just to make sure that it got read. So what we recommended was that they do a postcard, something a bit heavier, it's harder to ignore, and they cut it out into the shape of a van. Quite simple. Now, a week or so after the print was delivered, he rang me up really excited. He'd sent out 100 on a trial, and he'd had 24 phone calls. 24%. Thank you. 24% response rate just from thinking about how is that print going to be used? How are people going to think about it and interact with it? That's all we did. Now, the next stage is convert. You've identified people that have got an interest or need for your product or service. But it is about evaluation at this stage. It is about trialing and testing. People won't work with you until they've got confidence that you're the right type of business for them. So the objective of print here is to build credibility, create some trust, grow some confidence, show some authenticity and integrity. Many companies make the mistake of trying to rush through this stage. They try to get people through to the sale quickly. And, at the end of the day, people won't work with you until they trust you and they believe in your business. There are plenty of opportunities to use print at this stage. Think about that first contact. What do you send back? Think about that meeting you've tried really hard to arrange. When it's done, what do you leave behind? Think about a quotation. Other people are probably quoting. Certainly the existing supplier of that customer will be quoting. What do you do? What do you send to differentiate yourself from everybody else? That first job that might be a trial job. Have you got a welcome pack or some sort of onboarding print? These are the ways that print can be used in this stage to build that credibility and trust. We worked with a design agency recently, and they were working with a construction company. They were putting a tender in, and they were hoping to win a tender contract. They called us in. Normally, that type of document would be on loose sheets and sent in. But the design agency wanted to do something a bit different, maybe a wire-bound job with a fancy cover. We went in and we had a little look. The tender was worth £3 million. We recommended that they put the tender document on a hardback book, and they sent it in. Now, they won the contract, and they came back to us afterwards and said that in the debrief, they were told that from a credibility point of view, they stood head and shoulders above everybody else, and they believed that the print had had a really big impact in that decision. So again, thinking about how is print, what's the purpose of it? How is it going to be used? Why is it being used in the first place? And the next stage is keep. Keeping the customers you've worked long, hard, spent time investing money into convert into customers in the first place. So the objective of print here is really about building relationships, strengthening relationships, building some loyalty, staying visible, staying relevant in between the orders and adding some value. And also making an emotional connection at this stage. Now, a lot of companies make the mistake of ignoring this stage completely because they think the hard work has already been done. They're a customer, so hard work's done. But this just isn't true because we know our competitors are circling. They're investing time, effort and money into attracting the attention of your clients. They're offering them all sorts of deals and quirky offers and showing them shiny stuff to attract them away from you. So at this stage, you really want to be thinking about print in terms of building that loyalty. Loyalty is not what it used to be. There are lots of ways we can use print here, but I want to point to just two simple ones for today. Gratitude. We all like to be thanked, and we all like to be appreciated. So when's the last time you said thank you to your clients? When's the last time you thanked them for giving you a job, working with you, passing you a referral on to somebody else? Now, I've put a couple of thank you cards in your packs. They're blank cards. They haven't got my branding on. When you go away, I'd just like you to think of somebody that you can send a handwritten thank you note to. See what sort of response you get and then decide whether you think it's worthwhile. And the second thing I'd like to point to is newsletters. I think this is really underused in the industry. We're all used to newsletters pinging onto our email. And if you're anything like me, my inbox is my to-do list. So the first thing I do in the morning when I go in is delete, 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 to make it a bit more manageable. Is anybody else like that? Yeah, okay. Now, a printed newsletter, think about what we're trying to achieve at this stage. We're trying to build that relationship, strengthen that relationship. We're trying to be relevant. We're trying to stay visible, and we're trying to stay in front of our customers. A printed newsletter can really deliver that. The trouble is we've all got used to the bad newsletters that come over the email. You know, hiya guys, this is what I'm up to this month. This is what we're up to this month. It's about your customers, not about you. And this is where a printed newsletter can really, really hit home. I don't want to be introduced to Bob, who's just joined the business. He's 23, he likes to take long walks, and he likes to cuddle with his dog at night. Delete. Quickly. So hopefully I've given you some thoughts, things to think about. You know, I just want you to think about print differently. It's about connecting with the right people at the right time and delivering the message. So during that customer journey, I'd like you to think about how print can make an impact. And I would encourage you to get your print people, your print consultant in early, because not only could we think about strategy and how and when print can be used, we can tell you what sort of print will deliver the results that you need and what you're looking for. And if we're brought in early enough, you know, we can also save money as well. So I'm Andy from Expedient Print, creating, crafting powerful print to deliver results. Thank you.